Before Paris had grand boulevards and perfect symmetry, homes were built for people, not spectacle. This house reveals how intimacy, craftsmanship, and quiet luxury once defined Parisian living, and why those forgotten designs still matter today. Before Haussmann reshaped Paris into grand symmetry, homes like this defined the city's soul. The facade stands narrow and unapologetically asymmetrical, carved from time-worn limestone that carries centuries of weather and memory. Wrought iron balconies cling delicately to tall windows, while the arched wooden door signals intimacy rather than spectacle. This is architecture designed for human scale, quiet, textured, and deeply personal, where craftsmanship mattered more than uniformity. It invites curiosity, not dominance. Inside, the living room unfolds as a layered dialogue between stone, wood, and light. Exposed beams stretch overhead, grounding the space in artisanal tradition, while uneven limestone walls soften the acoustics and mood. Light enters narrowly, deliberately, creating contrast and warmth rather than openness. This is a room designed for conversation, reflection, and proximity, where luxury is felt through texture and atmosphere, not excess. The master bedroom feels sheltered, almost cocooned, beneath sloped ceilings and aged timber beams. Soft textiles counterbalance the solidity of stone, while filtered daylight drapes the room in calm restraint. Unlike modern bedrooms designed for scale, this space prioritizes rest through enclosure and warmth. Every proportion encourages stillness, echoing a time when privacy was crafted through architecture itself. This kitchen reflects a period when function shaped beauty. Stone counters, open wooden shelves, and iron fixtures create a workspace that feels honest and enduring. Nothing is hidden, everything is accessible. The materials absorb light and heat, reinforcing a sense of continuity between cooking, gathering, and living. It is a space rooted in ritual, where daily life shaped the home's rhythm. The mezzanine introduces vertical intimacy, hovering gently above the living space. Its low ceiling and wooden balustrade create a retreat within the home, a place for reading, thinking, or quiet observation. Rather than maximizing square footage, it celebrates spatial layering, proving that complexity can exist without scale. Here, bathing becomes a ritual. Stone walls and encaustic tiles absorb steam and light, while aged brass fixtures offer a tactile, grounded experience. The room avoids clinical perfection, embracing warmth and imperfection instead. It reflects a time when even utilitarian spaces carried dignity and permanence. The front courtyard serves as a buffer between public and private life. Enclosed by stone and softened with greenery, it redefines arrival as a gradual transition. This space doesn't announce the home, it protects it. In dense urban Paris, such courtyards were acts of architectural discretion. Above the narrow streets, the rooftop opens quietly to the sky. Terracotta tiles, low walls, and potted plants frame views of irregular rooftops stretching endlessly. There is no panorama, only context. This rooftop belongs to the city rather than rising above it. The working room is focused and restrained. A tall window directs light precisely onto a wooden desk, while stone walls contain sound and thought. This is a space designed for concentration long before modern offices existed, proof that productivity once depended on architecture, not devices. Hidden from the street, the backyard feels like a secret preserved by stone walls and filtered sunlight. Small, irregular, and deeply personal, it offers refuge rather than recreation. This garden is not ornamental, it is restorative. This home reminds us that architecture was once intimate, deliberate, and deeply human. Before grand boulevards and imposed order, Parisian houses were designed to protect, gather, and endure. In revisiting these spaces, we don't look backward, we rediscover values modern living has quietly forgotten.